Welcome to the launch of the 1978 Society, a leadership and legacy giving society that marks our 45th year of service to the Monadnock region. I'm Robin Christofferson, Executive Director of MCVP Crisis and Prevention Center. Why 1978? That's the year we were founded. You're about to listen to some testimonials from people who have used our services and from people who have ensured that our services exist by being generous donors. I hope you find the testimonials moving and that you consider being part of our giving society that will ensure we keep our doors open for another 45 years. It is with donor dollars that we are able to be innovative and push the boundaries of our advocacy and prevention efforts. State and federal funds make up just under 80% of our budget. Not only can they be restrictive and can carry a significant administrative burden, but they're also volatile. Building a donor-based foundation is paramount to the stability of MCVP now and in the future. The 1978 Society, meeting present needs, building a future foundation. Let's watch.
I was in a very violent relationship and I had called the crisis hotline to get some help, and it led me to Keene, New Hampshire, and they saved my life. They put me in a safe house and they led me to all the resources that I needed to get therapy, and for doctors. They took me to the emergency room because my face was purple with bruises. The doctors had thought my face was fractured. Thankfully it wasn't. I was in pretty bad shape.
I found out that my kids had been being abused for their entire life, and I had no idea. And it's like your world stops and you can't think and you can't breathe. And Pete was the advocate for the MCVP. He kept my head above water so I didn't drown in it all. It was over a couple of days of interviews at the CAC, just trying to get through. And that's what Pete did, is he got me through. Knowing you're not alone is, to me, was the biggest thing, was knowing that we were not alone, that we'd get through this.
Some of the services that they had set me up with were therapy and doctors in the local area that I was in. I struggled with sobriety at the time, and they pointed me in the right direction as far as 12-step programming. They were able to help me with my mental health services. I have PTSD as a result of the domestic violence situation that I was in, and I was able to get the help that I needed for that.
I actually moved here to the Keene area in 1994 to take a position with the organization. It was much smaller back then. It was called Women's Crisis Services, and I really loved my job. I loved the work, I was committed to the mission, and I really felt like what we were doing made a difference. And I think if you had asked me back then that the organization would grow the way it has, I never could have dreamed that it would become what it is today.
One of the things that I've been working on for 5 years, and the last 3 years pretty intently, is to leave an organization that's ready to accept new leadership. So if there was any kind of legacy, it would be that when I step away, it will be smooth and people are ready for a new executive director and excited about a new executive director and some fresh perspective and ideas and energy.
Well, one of the things that really made us decide this was the right time and the right place was to give whoever that new person is, you know, a very stable, I don't have to worry about where the funds are coming from. I mean, they'll still have to worry about some of the funding, but make it a little easier, that transition to new management.
We were trying to expand from events to solicitation for development money. And so board members and past board members were encouraged to pledge, and were encouraged to pledge multi-year pledges, and that's what I did. And so it developed into a little bit more every year. And when I was doing my estate planning a couple of years ago, I decided with my IRA that I would put charities in there instead of family members. My family members have taken very good care of themselves.
The number of people that came here in a year, I had no idea there were that many women who needed a place and needed the support that they could give them. I must say, when we donated to MCVP, the happiness that I got from donating, I've never experienced before. Robin was emotional with our gift, and I was emotional.
I hope one of the things I'm very proud of the organization doing is upholding our prevention work. We're one of the crisis centers in New Hampshire that has been in the forefront of that prevention work. And advocacy is really important, and I don't want that to go away, but it's a balance. So as we're building our prevention team, and the board has committed to trying to make more of a balance of our resources going to advocacy and prevention at the same time. So I see, our prevention work expanding and continuing. So I think building, that part of the organization and truly having that balance of resources going to prevention and advocacy might be in the future for MCVP. I hope it is.
I think that every person needs to know that they have worth, that their life has value, and that they deserve to be in a healthy, happy, stable home life. And a lot of what MCVP does is listening to people, letting them tell their story, letting them know what their options are, but we're always going to support them and help them find their way, and I think that makes a huge difference in people's lives. So I will forever be a committed supporter of MCVP.
Today my life has completely changed. I am in a healthy relationship and I'm getting married in July. I'm very much looking forward to that. I started a business 2 months ago in January, and we make crocheted items. I make crocheted items. We make hand-poured candles, my partner and I. And I also make hemp jewelry. And so far, so good with the business. And we try to give back to our community in every way that we can. And part of us giving back is giving back to MCVP. They're so worthy of all the help that they can give because they help so many people.
I think it's important that we build an endowment for MCVP, and I know they've started that. We talked about that when I was on the development committee years ago, but there was no way that we could even put it into reality at that time. I think we're to the point now where there is a little bit of endowment, and I think there are donors out there that appreciate that and might like to hear about it and might be willing to build it. And it really helps to build a budget, an annual budget, if you know that you have a base like that you can count on, that you can depend on.
Life is awesome. When you have somebody who supports you and tells you you can do it, you can. So my kids were all grown up and moved out now, and I got my CDL. And I drive tractor trailer all over the country. We transport horses. We love it. It's an amazing job. I tell people it's the best job ever. I get paid to drive a big cool truck, play with horses, and spend every day with my husband. And it's the happy life that I didn't think it existed. So to me, it's kind of my fairy tale.
If it wasn't for MCVP, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I have so much gratitude towards them for everything that they've done. They are the foundation to how I got to where I am today.
On behalf of MCVP, I'd like to thank Christine, Allegra, Amy, Jane, Judy, and Frank for speaking about our work. We have a vital mission that requires vitality in our fiscal profile. I hope you're considering joining the 1978 Society and ensuring that we carry on that survivors of domestic and sexual violence and human sex trafficking have a confidential local resource they can count on. That children, youth, and teens get research and evidence-based prevention programs that are relevant and accessible. All of these free of charge. Joining is easy. It's a minimum annual pledge of $780 or more that can be given in one donation or spread out over the year, and or letting us know you have a planned gift in your estate earmarked for MCVP. Want to learn more? Just go to our website, mcvprevention.org/1978society, or email development@mcvprevention.org and ask for details. Be part of meeting the present needs and building a future. Join the 1978 Society now and help us kickstart our leadership and legacy group of superstar supporters. Thank you.